So I thought maybe, okay, let me start knitting firstly. I am knitting I don't know what I'm knitting. I think I'm trying to knit a scarf. Clearly, clearly I'm no professional. This is quite embarrassing, but it is fun, so that's okay. Anyways, I thought I would start off sharing a few of my tips. I'm gonna limit these to like 5 tips maybe, because I don't want to bombard you guys with tips and tricks and ideas and things you must do, just because I know it's a really overwhelming time for a lot of people, and you know, we don't want to add to your list of things that are stressing you out. So my first tip that I will definitely be doing myself is to make sure that I do one thing every day. You know, I usually write a list every day of multiple things, and very rarely do I finish the entire list of tasks. I'm trying to keep the mindset that that is totally fine, so long as I finish one task on my list of things to do. Now, this task can be as big or as small as you like. Depends on the day for me. Some days I will put a kind of big task for me, which is maybe like getting through lectures for the day or getting through one lecture for the day. And some days my tasks are super minimal. I don't expect a lot of myself because I'm having a bad day. My task might be something like, just make sure I have a shower today. That's it. Just wash my hair. So yeah, I totally encourage that. Remember that this is a hard time, and anything you achieve, no matter how big or small, is still an achievement. You've still gotten something done. You're one step closer to finishing everything you're meant to be doing, and you've been productive. Tip number 2 is to keep drinking water. It is something that I have been struggling a lot with recently. Sorry, I just realized I've been looking down so much. I have to like really focus when I'm knitting, but I gotta look up at you guys more. Eye contact, important. I used to carry around a water bottle with me everywhere I went, and I just sip at it throughout the day, and I would always finish my water, and I like had a great like level of hydration. Since lockdown began, I have not been doing that because I'm not going anywhere, so definitely my intake of water has decreased a lot. And for me, drinking water is something I view as kind of like an achievement, I guess, because it's a reminder to myself that I have been kind to my body, that I'm nourishing it, that I'm keeping myself hydrated, looking after my brain and stopping myself from getting headaches and stuff. So it's definitely something I'm going to keep working on, and I totally want you guys to remember that. Keep drinking water, keep yourselves hydrated, save yourselves a headache, clear your skin. You know, I'm sure you guys all know the benefits of drinking water. Like, it literally keeps you alive, so yeah. Oh, and if you're not much of a water drinker, especially when it gets cold, tea. Tea is a great one, because you can just, you know, you can have the flavor you want, and it can be hot or cold, whatever you prefer, so that's a really good one. I'm not much of a tea drinker though. I don't know. I'm also not a coffee drinker, but I can do Milo and hot chocolates. Big fan of those ones. My third tip for you guys is to set up a regular FaceTime time or phone call with someone, one of your mates or a family member, like a relative, someone you like to hang out with and see a lot. One of my friends and I had a chat about this over our winter break, and we decided that we would pick a day once we'd set up our timetables and make sure that we're checking in with each other, chat, kind of catch up, you know, complain about our lectures, and maybe even watch a movie together, just as something to look forward to on a regular basis, because it can be hard to find things to do. It's also a great way to stay connected with people. It can be really hard to get in your own head and just stop talking to people when you don't see them. So this is a great way to make sure you do that. And having that regular time like allocated for that means that it becomes almost routine, and this is a time that's been scheduled just for this, to be social and connect with others. So yes, I definitely absolutely recommend that. And look, it doesn't have to be every week. It can be like once a month if like that's what works for you, or it can be like literally every 2 days. Whatever works for you. Next we've got tip 4, practice gratitude. I know that in times like these, it can be quite difficult to feel like you have things to be grateful for. Really like the idea of keeping a gratitude journal. I've done it in the past and it has worked wonders for me, just in terms of my mindset and encouraging myself to notice things throughout the day, rather than just like live passively. So I've started doing it again recently, and it's really nice. It helps me center my thoughts. I definitely suggest that one very strongly. You don't have to think of 3 things a day. You can just think of 1, you know? If 3 is too much, 1 is perfectly fine. It can be, again, like my first tip, it can be a small thing or a big thing. Like today, I'm grateful that there's sunshine outside, because yesterday it was so gloomy and I thought we were going to have another full week of just gloomy weather. And yes, it's cold, but I got to see the sun today and that's awesome, you know? My final tip is to read, and I mean read something on paper, like a book. Just because I feel like your eyes need a break. You know, you're probably working online all day and then you're watching Netflix all night, and you know, you don't really get a break from that screen of yours. So I suggest reading. I haven't been much of a reader in recent years, and it does suck because I used to love reading. But anyways, reading childhood classics has been really helpful for me. Like those books that I totally loved as a child, that's been super helpful. I only did it one night. I read 1 book, but yeah, it's okay. It's just, it can be so nostalgic, and I think at a time when there's so much unknown in the world and a lot of scary unknowns, reading something you read as a child is super lovely, because you know, it takes you back to like those pure young days when things were all good and you didn't have problems, and yeah, so I do think that is good. And you know, I only say that because reading has been kind of difficult for me lately, so something at a child level is much easier. It helps me get to sleep because you know, usually the language is very simple. I don't have to be thinking very hard, so that's why I say childhood books. But obviously you can read whatever you want. Just read something on paper, you know, or just take time away from your screen, I guess is what I'm getting at mainly. It doesn't have to be reading. Like you can knit, like literally you can do anything, just something that's not on your screen. Video about that coming soon, actually. No, that's it for tips. Like I said, I didn't want to bombard you guys with a million things you should be doing. You know, doing nothing is totally fine as well. And doing a million things a day is totally fine as well, so long as you're taking a break. Oh, that being said, if there are any tips that I didn't mention that you have found to be super helpful for you, please leave them down in the comments below. You know, your girl could do with some tips too. I'm no perfect human being. On top of that, I also wanted to say, if people want like a video with a ton of tips, I can also do that. That's totally cool. I mean, seeing as we're on the topic of content I'm posting, I am going to be posting like way more crazy, chaotic, like funny content. Like initially today I was actually going to post something completely different. It was another cooking video that I know was bound to get a few laughs. Whether it's because, you know, I'm a hilarious human being and, you know, I'm just super funny and fun, or whether it's because I'm terrible at cooking and I'm super cringy. You know, either way, I knew someone would laugh at it. So yeah, I can keep posting like cheerful content, but I did also want to suggest I can do stuff that's more chill like this, like sitting down and chatting, and I don't know, we'll have tea together one day, or do like a Q&A type thing, I don't know, stuff like that. I'm also down to do. I'm down to do both, like a combination of both. Whatever it is people want to see, especially over the next 6 weeks. This is definitely one of the perks of having a channel that doesn't really fall into any specific category on YouTube. Like I'm not like a tutorial channel or a makeup channel, or actually this is something that stresses me out so much. Like people will find out about my YouTube channel in like real life and ask me like, oh, what type of content do you post? And I never know how to answer. Like I always get so like, I don't know, I kind of do vlogs, but I sometimes do baking videos. Like sometimes I do more like skit type stuff. I do want to do more challenges. Like I just want to do everything, you know? I like trying things. Yeah, so I don't really like putting myself into a box. Also, like straight up, I will divulge this with you. I'm no expert in anything, like, you know, I can't be a beauty guru because I don't know how to do anything except the same makeup look basically. Like, I don't have a particularly interesting life, so I couldn't make a channel solely based on story times. Wow, I'm really good at talking myself down, wow. Look, I have a lot that I can offer, I just don't have a lot of one thing that I can offer. So I'll do, you know, a bit of everything is what I'm saying. Ooh, okay. Lighting is starting to change a little bit more and I can see that the sun is going to disappear soon. So, there was one more thing that I really wanted to discuss before the end of this video, and that, my friends, is the topic of mental health. Let me put this down for a sec, actually. How serious are we? This is not too serious. I'm just gonna, yeah, I just need to like concentrate because I want to get at what I'm trying to say, you know? Yeah. Not a good multitasker. We all know maintaining your mental well-being is not an easy task in general, let alone in times like these. So I just wanted to throw it out there. Please, please, please cut yourself some slack. If you're not as motivated as usual, or if you're feeling down, or if you're feeling stressed, like that's not your fault. In fact, I think that's a normal response to have to something like this. No one hears that there is a global pandemic and Victoria's doing really, really badly, and so we need to up the ante with our like defense to all of this. No one hears that and goes, oh yes, I'm so happy. But yeah, just on that note, like please, please, please reach out to people, especially if you're feeling down, you know, to family, to loved ones, to friends. Being physically alone does not equate to being socially alone. We do have this great thing called technology and social media, and you know, even though it's filled with a lot of negative stuff, it has its perks, and we should be definitely taking advantage of those perks. So yeah, I mean this is stuff you guys all know, but yeah. I'm also going to link some words. I'm also going to link some okay, we can do it this time. I'm also going to link some resources down for you below in the description box for you to check out if you are feeling particularly worried about your mental health. Needing help is not weak, it's not something to be ashamed of. I think feeling upset right now is like the most normal response you can have, so just wanted to throw that one out there. Finally, I wanted to say that I am here for you too. I am a friend who is here for you, whether I know you personally or not. If you know me personally, then you know how to contact me. And if you don't, I'm gonna link my email down below in the description box. And if you want to reach out privately to me, you can do that too. You know, I'm here to listen. I'm also totally down to help you laugh and crack a couple of jokes. Or I'm here to give advice. I feel like I give fairly good advice, despite the fact that I never take any of it, and I really should. But yeah, that's probably enough rambling from me. Thank you for watching. I totally forgot to knit after a while, but that's okay. I am so glad that you've joined me, and I'll see you in my next video. Till then and after then, look after yourselves. Bye!